Hello, and welcome to another planning video. I wasn't actually planning to make this video, but I had so many requests that I was like, well, okay. It doesn't really take that much for me to want to film a planning video, and the fact that anybody wanted to watch one was good enough for me. So in this video, we're going to be planning for the second half of the year. This is actually my favorite time to do planning and goal setting and all of that kind of stuff, which might seem funny, but at the beginning of the year, there's just so much you don't know about how the year is going to unfold and what's going to happen and how much you're actually going to get done. And once you get halfway through the year, then you're halfway. And so you like have a better perspective and you know things. And so I love taking the time during July to just sit down and be like, okay, where am I? What have I gotten done so far goal-wise? What do I want to get done? How do I want to change my goals? Because sometimes you get halfway through the year and you're like, I don't even care about this goal. So how do you want to change them? Sometimes you're like way off in terms of like, I thought I was gonna be able to do way more or way less. And so those are things you can adjust mid-year so that you're setting yourself up for success for the rest of the year. So we're gonna get started with all of that stuff. And the first thing is just for me to really like sit and think. So instead of just like showing me thinking, we're going to I'm going to like write in my journal and just like think through what has happened so far this year, how it's going, and how I want it to continue, and see kind of like what changes need to be made. So let's get started. I'm also gonna change out of this so I'll look less presentable the next time you see me. I haven't talked about my planner in a while, and I noticed because I've been starting to get questions about it. So I use these Full Focus planners. They are my absolute favorite, the only planner I have ever like truly loved. They are quarterly, however, which means that you have to redo them every quarter, which I kind of like because it gives you like a new starting point. I love this blue one. This is called the Bold Line, and the blue one is so stinking cute. I was in purple for quarter 2. And I have the subscription. Oh, this is upside down. No, it's not. I have the subscription. Whoa. My whole planner is upside down. That's super weird. Okay, well, we're just, I mean, it still works, just gotta flip it over. That was super odd. I've never seen that before. Now I forgot what I was talking about. I don't know, this planner. Every quarter I go through and start my new one, and they're really handy. So they have these annual goal pages. So this is where you write like all of your goals for the year, and then you're supposed to go into detail for each one. I like to just do the ones I'm working on for this quarter because otherwise that just takes too much time, frankly. So I'll go through the ones that I'm like really focused on for this quarter in these goal detail pages. And then go through and add the monthly calendars. Since they're quarterly, you can use them for any quarter, and so they're just blank, and so I'll just do the next 3 months. It also has these rolling quarters. So this is for like, I can make this quarter 4, and then I can write down anything that's happening in October, November, December, which is really handy. That way you know, still have it available before you get there, and then you can go, yeah, so it's like 4. So basically through the next year on here. So I'll fill those out. And then this is a really interesting page. It's the daily rituals. And then the next one is the ideal week. And so the idea being that every quarter you sit down and think through like, if my week was perfect, like what would it look like? And if like my morning routine was perfect, what would it look like? And just things like that, so that you're really intentional with your time, which I really like, because y'all know I'm very, you know, big on that and reviewing things. And then this is a new thing. Oh, and they made it even bigger this time, that they just started adding, and it's the key projects. So you can add in like your main project that you are working on for this quarter, which I really like, because that's kind of how I think. Because, you know, I just have like a lot of smaller things going on. And then you can write your weekly big 3, which are the 3 most important things for this week. And then each day has a full 2 pages, which might seem excessive, but y'all, your girl uses like the full 2 pages. And so you have your top 3 things for the day that are like the 3 things that have to happen, all of the other tasks that you need to do that are not quite as important. And then I like to sometimes block out my day. And then on the notes, I'll write things like videos I need to film, things I need to edit. I write my gratitude in there, just stuff like that. So lots of different things like that. And then you have one for each day. And then at the end of the week, you have a weekly preview for the next week, where you go through and kind of like reflect really quickly and set some goals and plans for the next week. And it's just a really good way to like get you to be intentional. So I'm going to set up my upside down notebook and get to work. Alright, so I am about done with planning for next year, and I wanted to kind of walk you through next year, the rest of this year, and I wanted to kind of just walk you through what I've got so far. First of all, I want to say that if you can't plan at the, like, you know, perfect time, it's not the end of the world. I actually started this video like a full 2 weeks ago, because I was like, well, you know, July is like next week, I need to get it done. And then we were like on vacation, so I had all these things to do before vacation and after vacation. It was just like crazy town. And so it's now like 2 weeks later, and I finally got around to like actually doing it. But it is so much better to plan like with a clear head and time than it is to rush through any of this stuff. So my planning process is, you know, always very similar, and I walk you through it a lot, but especially for this, since we are halfway through the year, this is my favorite time to plan, even more than New Year's, because you're already halfway through, so you can like see where you are and see, you know, how things are going. So the number one most important thing to do at this time of year is that you want to make sure that you are really digging deep into, am I on track? How is this year going? If I'm not on track, can I get on track? Do I want to change things? Do I want to adjust things? Stuff like that. So just really like reflecting, thinking, that kind of thing. I like to do that in my journal and just write it down. You might prefer to talk it out, even if there's no one there. You could just like, you know, hang out by yourself in a room and just like talk it out while you're like on your spin bike or something like that, you know, so that you just kind of get it out of you and just kind of think through it. And that's gonna be the most important thing. And so just thinking like, how has this year been? Am I on track? Am I not on track? What's happening? What I found when I looked at that was that I was on track for my business goals, but all of my personal goals were not anywhere close. And I can see that because I definitely felt like I worked really, really hard this first half of the year. And also felt very tired this first half of the year. But just like really actually stopping and, you know, thinking that through and writing it down made me realize like, oh, I really need to look at that and adjust things so that we, you know, are not super off balance. So that's something looking for the next few months, is how can I adjust that so that I can actually get some of my personal goals done? How can I make sure that I'm not exhausted? Like all those things are the things that I was kind of looking through, was how can I, you know, do that? And then the other thing is that whether you're going to take the goals you had at the beginning of the year or you're going to change them, you want to focus on like tactical strategies. So once I had that sorted out of like what's been going on, then I started thinking, okay, what am I going to work on for the next few weeks, for next few months, and what like tactical strategies do I really want to make sure I have? I have a whole video about breaking down big goals, so I'll link that one down below because that goes more into like the details. This is just kind of like the overview of my strategy of how to do everything. And so I actually write all my stuff in auxiliary notebooks, and so I just like took a notebook because I feel I don't know if you feel this way, but like in my planner or like in my bullet journal, I want things to be pretty and neat. And so if I'm like trying to come up with things, I usually do it in an extra notebook that can be, you know, ugly. So I went through there and I wrote down like what are things that I really want to make sure I'm doing the next few months, what is my focus, and then planning that out per month. So I also have a little page where I just wrote like July, August, September, and like wrote a couple of notes under each one of what I need to work on that month. I always have a project hour in my life. So in the morning for an hour before I go to work, I work on like my project things. And so I like identified what those projects were going to be for each month. I try to keep it in 1 month if that is at all possible. And so I got that stuff just kind of sorted. And then after that, more strategy. So like one of my like big things was just going through like, oh, I want to make back to school products. Okay, what are those back to school products actually going to be? And you know, like getting more detail and that kind of stuff. So then I put it all into the bullet journal once I got it figured out, and I'll show that to you right now. So I added in these little calendar pages because I have been batching like a crazy person to get blog posts done for like the whole next year, like all the way from now until next June, and then videos done just trying to get ahead. And because I'm going so far ahead, I needed things for next year which aren't on my calendar, which still says June. 2, I'm not always sitting right there when I'm like finishing videos and getting them scheduled and stuff like that. So I added these little calendars just so that I could write down you know, videos, blog posts, that kind of stuff. And it's really helpful because then I can see, you know, where things are. I do use my Friction pen, so if I need to change something and I already have had to change some things, then I can just adjust that. And then I just put a little dot on the actual days that like something is gonna come out, because that just makes sense to me and is a simple way. So I already had that in there. So I added in my like top goals. So I ended up with 7, which is probably more than I really wanted. But mine are, I'm doing a back to school boot camp course that is going to be like taking my next 2 weeks for my music teachers, and then back to school products, which those kind of go together. I'm doing a centers course for my music teachers, which is going to be more like October is when I plan to launch that. So I also need my centers products. So once I get through back to school stuff, I'm going to be working on like centers products, so that I'm ready for my centers course. I'm already I also, because I'm planning things out, we'll talk about that after, we'll discuss that later. Goal setting book and workbook. So I have that goal setting course. I want to have like a manual that goes with it because, you know, I prefer words. So that's on the agenda. I have a couple, I called it select products because I have a lot of products, and so this year I'm really gonna try to resist the urge to like make all the products and all the little things, and instead focus more on things that are bigger products that I think will sell well, I know will sell well. And so I have like a list of like, these are ones that I think will do really well, that I would really like to do, and I'm gonna try to like, you know, stick to that list. So I have like my back to school stuff, my center stuff, and then like a couple of other things I want to do. And then update my products on the first page. I, as you may have noticed, have changed my thumbnails, and every single month since I changed them in December, I have written on my to-do list, update product covers, update product covers, update product covers. I have not done it. So I was like, okay, let's just focus on like the first page so that when you come to my store, the top, you know, like most popular products all match. Okay, so that's gonna be my goal from like now to the end of the year, is make sure that the first page is updated with better covers, and then I will also go through and look through like the descriptions and the previews and all that stuff, just make sure everything is ship shape because it's on the first page. So I want to make sure it's converting as well as possible. I also wrote down just a couple of like reminders underneath there, and these were things that came to me as I was like writing out my plans. And so for me, they're not goals, they're just like things to remember and think about. So I wanted them on that same page. But think about big products, not menial little work. Focus on money makers and holes. So by holes, I mean if I notice that, like, for example, I don't have really anything for like Thanksgiving time. I don't have a lot of like November activities. That would be a hole in my store, is that I'm like kind of missing that kind of stuff. Or if you have like product lines and you're missing like certain concepts, those would be your holes. Take it easy, or at least easier. Hire a maid. That's happening before we go back to school. Use products that I've already finished for this year's lessons. That's gonna be a big thing for me this year, is instead of like trying to make everything from scratch, I'm gonna try to reuse as much as I can from previous years. That way I don't have to come up with everything from complete scratch. I don't have like a bajillion different little tiny products that I have to, you know, get ready so that I can share them with other people, because I hate posting videos and then being like, yeah, well, I don't have it available, but you know, it's cool and it's fun, which I do, but I just really hate it. So I'd prefer things that are already posted. So I'm gonna try to do that. Videos and blogs prep, so there's less work during the school year. And then, oh, leave Fridays open for like whatever needs to happen. So I think that's gonna be a change, is on Fridays. I had like something scheduled for each Friday. I think this year I'm gonna try like leaving it open. That way if there's like a video that needs to be edited, or I need to finish my emails, or like whatever it is that just needs to get done, just having that extra time so that I can adjust as needed. Then on the other side of the little calendars, because I just taped these in, there's extra pages. I just put 6 little boxes that have the month, and then I put like the focus for each month. And I really am trying to be better about focusing. I'm not very good at focusing, but I'm trying. And then at the bottom, I just put a little quote. It's kind of funny. It's from, what's it called? Words. It's from In the Heights, from the song 96,000, which is when they realized someone won the lottery, and they're all talking about like what they would do if they had won $96,000. And Usnavi, the main character, says, if you really want to see some change, go ahead and create a set of goals and cross them off the list as you pursue them. And then he says, and with this 96, I know precisely what I'm doing. And then shares what he would do. So I wrote that, except I said, and with these next 6 months, I know precisely what I'm doing. So got that sorted. I'm gonna put the specific products over here in the different things. And then I have already planned out the July, because I just needed that. So I did that last week because y'all, this is so late, but I do need a cover page. So I'll do a cover page, and then I'll finish this last couple of pages, and then I should be good. So my kind of like strategy is I use my bullet journal mostly for planning and tracking, and I use my planner for actual like execution. Essentially the planner is what's happening this week, what's happening this day, what are like, it's the very micro parts. This is the very macro, like overall what's happening. Now, one thing I want to say is that I have been trying to kind of zoom out a lot, especially in the last couple weeks. And instead of like being way down deep in my business down here, just kind of zoom out, look at it from above, and kind of be more strategic. And so that's why I have those like, let's do some bigger products, let's do, you know, like things that are going to make a bigger impact. And then along with that, I am able to kind of coordinate things. So for example, I have the Centers course that I'm coming out with in October. I already know I want to do it. I already like have plans. So I have already made my email opt-in for that. So I have a freebie that people can join my email list and they can get that for free. And that puts them on my email list so that when I'm ready to launch it, it's there. It's already up months ahead of time. So I'm already trying to drive some traffic there. 2, I'm able to make my content really reflect that. So I have most of my blog posts for the next few months are about Centers, and they're already done. They're already done. They're already done. So I don't even have to worry about them. And all of them talk about that email opt-in, so I can get as many of those people onto my email list. And I'm also prepping them mentally for the Centers course. The third thing is that since I know that I am going to have that course, I want to make sure I have as many Centers products as possible. And so I have quite a few Centers lines that are coming out. Some that I already started that I just need to like finish up or, you know, adjust some ways. Some that are going to be new. I have some really fun games I'm excited about. And just being really focused in that area is helping me to make sure that like everything's going to be cohesive. And it's just gonna be good. So, and that should help to, and having that level of cohesion and that level of like forward planning should help the outcome to be very good as well, because people can purchase the course, they can purchase the products if they don't want to buy the course. Some of the products will be in the course, so that's why I want to make sure I'm like getting those out and ready so that I can put them into the course as like a bonus that you get for free. Not all of them, but some of them. So that's kind of my little spiel, is that I've been really trying to zoom out and look at my business like more long-term, big thinking, which I'm not gonna lie was not a possibility over like March, April, May, because I was like so down in the weeds that I would not have been able to do that. So all that to say, I will give you a little glimpse of all the different things once I finish this little guy up, and I hope that that was helpful, and I hope that you are sitting there planning along with me, because that's like the dream, is that you would like watch my planning videos and go plan. So thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Let me know any of your like goal setting planning questions below, or you can send them to me at becca.e.davis on Instagram. That's like the best way to get me to answer, because I'm usually pretty quick on there. So I would look forward to hearing from you, and yeah.